Hey, warriors. Today I want to talk about something that we all have access to, our higher self. You know, that quiet, all knowing part of you that's been guiding you long before you started your spiritual journey. It's not something, you try to find. It's something you need to remember. Your higher self isn't above you, it is you. The version of you, that sees the full picture, that remembers every lifetime, every choice, every lesson. The first way to connect with your higher self is to create silence. Not just, outer silence, but inner silence. Most people are surrounded by noise 24/7, the phone, the TV, the freaking thoughts, the worry loops. Um, but your higher self doesn't yell, it whispers. Um, and you can't hear a whisper if, you're still in survival mode. So, So start simple, take 5 minutes a day, no music, no scrolling, no multitasking. Just breathe, notice your body, notice your thoughts, passing by like clouds. Um, that moment, right between your inhale and your exhale, that's where your higher self speaks. And it will always answer, okay? But it speaks in energy, not words. It'll send you feelings, nudges, synchronicities, dreams, or signs, um, that just feel different from your, regular thoughts. I know some of you are probably like, oh, yeah, duh, we know this, okay? But some people don't. So I figured I'd, talk about it. Um, you'll know it's your higher self, when it feels calm, neutral and loving. Um, even if it's guiding you towards, a big change. Um, your ego voice, it feels, urgent, fearful. Um, your higher self feels like, truth. Um, ask questions, like what do I need to understand right now? You know, show me what's meant for me. What would love do? And then don't force an answer, let it show up in its own way. Um, your higher self, communicates through energy, you know, so let it flow. You know what I mean? Um, if something expands you, then for example, that would be a yes. Um, if something contracts you, that's obviously a no. Your body, is the antenna. You'll feel it when something is aligned. You know what I mean? Logic can lie, energy never does, ever. So when you get that gut feeling that, sudden knowing, um, trust it, you know, um, even if you can't explain it yet, because every time you act on your intuition, you strengthen, that connection. Your higher self always, it already knows the way, I guess. But if you're trying to control how things happen, you block that flow, you know? It's like trying to steer a boat while you're, arguing with the current. Um, you're still moving, you're just exhausting yourself, and surrender, isn't giving up. It's saying, I trust the part of me, that already knows the way. Um, that's when the signs, will start, multiplying. You'll notice patterns, coincidences, people showing up, out of nowhere. Um, that's your higher self, aligning your timeline. Um, the easiest way to meet your higher self, is through gratitude. Um, Gratitude shifts, your vibration instantly. When you're grateful, you're in the frequency of abundance, um, of love, and that's where your higher self exists. So when you wake up, before you grab your phone, whisper thank you, for the air, your body, the lessons, the people who have helped you, remember. Gratitude is the bridge between human and soul. My cat is like acting crazy today. Um, but your higher self isn't, you know, far off away in the cosmos, it's right here, inside you. Um, it's just waiting, for you to get still, for you to trust, for you to love. So if you've been searching, for connection, stop searching, just listen. It's already speaking through your intuition, through your dreams, through your, peaceful knowing that, shows up when, you least expect it. You've never been disconnected. You just forgot, how close you already were to your higher self, So stay in your heart and remember, peace over pain, legends. I love you.